So this is our first.
It's
Go ahead.
this is our first inaugural review of The Mandalorian. A
The first
spoiler,
episode of the second season. A
yes,
spoiler loaded.
this will
A
be a
spoiler loaded.
spoiler loaded. So if you have not watched the first episode of The Mandalorian, please do not watch this episode.
Yes. So what was your okay? We gotta just already start. How many water coolers?
I'm gonna have to give it five.
No question.
I'm gonna have to
No
give it five.
question.
I'm gonna have
Five
to give
water
it
coolers.
five.
Five water coolers.
I'm gonna have to give it five for the simple fact of John Favreau did something in this first episode that we have been clamoring for directors or writers of new Star Wars material to actually do, to tie the first series, the novels, tie everything together, and he succeeded in that to a standing ovation. You know, I wish J.J. Abrams would have had the insight that John Favreau showed in his first episode.
Definitely. I mean, I'm gonna touch on what you say. Like, I'm gonna follow up. Like, to see in that bar everyone watching the second Death Star explode, you're like, whoa! Like this is the Return of the Jedi. I am looking at the end of Return of the Jedi and how that directly relates to the Mandalorian.
No, essentially what you're doing is watching the events in Return of the Jedi from what regular people were actually seeing around the galaxy. But then you also saw, which I actually like, you saw that how that when the once the Empire fell, you saw
It
how
didn't work out really
chaos.
great. It didn't work out
Yeah,
well for everybody. I mean,
and that
Luke
also
was good,
exactly.
but
It did not work out. It did not work out well for everyone. And that is the reason why you saw it was so easy for the First Order to come back, or for the seeds of the original Empire to be actually planted, because the galaxy is so massive, it's just lawless.
yeah, yeah. This is, you have to give it to John Favreau. It's like he's really into the Star Wars universe. He like takes a deep dive into
He
it.
pays attention to the mythology well.
Yeah, but then he brings in this question that a lot of the novels tackled, but the movies, didn't. And I understand the movies may not have been able to, but like, what
No,
what does
chose
that
not to.
uh, either or? What? How does that affect everyone? How does this affect everyone in the universe, in the
How does
galaxy?
it affect Joe? How does this affect Joe Sixpack or Tyrone Jenkins, who lives on the sixth floor?
Exactly. Um, what I really liked about the first episode is they're telling you exactly what this season is going to be about. The plot currently right now is for Boba Fett to find these hidden
Not Boba Fett,
Mandalorians.
the
That,
Mandalorian.
yeah,
You
hidden.
call him.
Oh,
You
oh,
call
oh! I'm
him.
sorry. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Let me
you
take
are
that
you
because
are you are jumping the gun.
yeah, I'm looking at my notes. I got it all backwards. It is for the Mandalorian, which I can never remember his name.
They never give. If you look
No,
on
no, they have his name. They have
if
his
you
name.
look on IMDb, it's just the Mandalorian.
Yeah, no, but his name, he said it in the past episodes. They call it by it, but it's hard to pronounce. And I will have it. We'll have it on the ready for the next episode. But the Mandalorian is searching for hidden Mandalorians throughout the galaxy to point him towards where the Jedi or the child species is located. And so it's kind of like, we're going to back just like season one. We're going to be planet hopping. We're going to be seeing different things, different tasks he has to fulfill just to move him closer to his objective. And I mean, that plot is just so simple, but like, I'm all in. It's not hard to follow.
Exactly. And I'll say we should just jump into the first episode.
Yeah.
So the first episode, what you see is, well, as Tommy noted, he's looking for other Mandalorians to point him in the direction to find other sorcerers that they refer to the Jedi, and he is pointed in the direction of Tatooine, a familiar planet
There's
for
only
everything Star
one
Wars.
Mandalorian that was on Tatooine. Go ahead.
Well, it's only one Mandalorian that we were not. Well, if you read the novels,
Mhm.
which is called Legends now, he survived.
Yes.
But if you've read the new novels, which started off with Star Wars Aftermath, when Disney had a very ambitious thought process in the beginning that everything was supposed to tie in, everything was part of one universe, it didn't work out so well after.
Right.
But
Right.
there were a bunch of Star Wars novels, and the first set was Star Wars Aftermath, and it told a story of the early seeds of the First Order and the Resistance. But in the novel, you had interludes which told you, which basically laid the groundwork for what was going on in other parts of the galaxy. And one of the chapters was called The Lore Keeper. And the Lore Keeper wore Boba Fett's armor, but what you couldn't decipher from reading the novel was he just wearing the armor, or was he actually Boba Fett? And what we
Right.
come to find out in the first episode of Mandalorian season 2, is that he was just wearing the armor. As Tommy told me, and as Tommy told me in our brief conversation, Boba Fett's like 4'2",
Right. And Timothy
Timothy
Olyphant
Oliphant
is 7 feet
is
tall.
like 7 feet
So
tall.
he even
So it looked
looks
like,
like
yeah.
he's wearing a child's armor. The helmet doesn't even fit on his head. But
Yeah, it's like the body armor just covers his nips. It just covers his nips.
exactly.
And that's supposed to cover his whole
Torso.
body, his whole torso.
So yeah,
So
go ahead.
yeah, so off the jump, we automatically see, okay, so Boba Fett didn't survive the Sarlacc pit. One of the mysteries of Return of the Jedi from the film world. In the
Right.
novel world, he survived.
Right.
So at least we thought he
Right.
he
And
died.
it was clear that the armor was found by the Jawas, and Timothy Oliphant's character, I felt like his name was Colin Vanth, something like that. But
He was a lore keeper.
right, he was trying to protect the town. These marauders came in, enslaved the town.
They weren't even they
Oh,
were
they were
actually
from a mining colony.
they're from a mining company. So think about that. You have regular companies enslaving people.
Yeah,
Imagine what gangsters are doing throughout the around the galaxy at this time.
definitely. He escapes the mining company's, I guess, assault, and he's found by these
Or
Jawas.
genocide, because they actually went in that bar and just for shooting everybody. They didn't even
Yeah,
ask them questions.
I don't know how they were going to get slaves out of that situation, but and then he gets he sells like the crystals he had on him for the Boba Fett armor, and then he comes back, and I guess because of the general fear of Mandalorians, and I don't know about the legend of Boba Fett, but they were scared, and he killed them all, and the armor has been um just like a mantle to his authority in that sector.
Mhm.
It wasn't Mos
It,
Eisley. What was it? Mos Gal?
yeah, it was it was a part of Tatooine
Yeah.
and also another callback to Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan was looking for the clone makers Camino, but he couldn't find it.
Right.
But Yoda said it's here,
Yeah.
but just like to see it on
Yeah,
the map.
it's
Just
there.
like it's there, but you're not gonna see it on any maps.
Mhm. So I mean, and and that's just the beginning of the episode. The story then goes into there's what's it called, a crate dragon that
And
is
sand people. This is
the
the
Tusken
first time.
Raiders.
This is the
Tusken
first time.
Raiders.
This is the first time I actually saw a human and the Tusken Raiders interact that didn't devolve into fisticuffs.
Yeah, I mean it got close, but once again,
well,
mhm,
well, no, the Mandalorian has one of those voice synthesizers.
yeah,
I forgot exactly what it's called in the Star Wars world. Basically, it allows you to communicate with every species.
yeah, yeah, and he, I also really enjoy that they do not peg the Mandalorian as a war. He's a warrior, but he is more of he doesn't want to fight. Like if he can do this, because he could have easily killed Timothy Olyphant's character and took the armor. But when he proposed, like, listen, you help me save this town, and I will give this armor back to his ancestral people, it was kind of like, all right, I could do that. And it's like, so even you see a little bit more of that when he's, you know trying to be diplomatic between Tusken Raiders and this guy, and so it's just I really really enjoy this show. And so it's up to the Mandalorian that unites these two people, the Tusken Raiders and the people of the town, to come together to destroy this
A
crate
crate
dragon.
dragon that I had no idea it could eat a Sarlacc.
Yes, but now we know.
but
Now we know how that
but
works.
but now we have a clear view of who is the apex predator on
Right,
Tatooine.
right. And the people try to take out the crate dragon with a plan of just blowing up its unarmed
Underbelly.
the underbelly, and it doesn't go well. And as usual, the Mandalorian, being as amazing as he is, just simply goes into his stomach with a bunch of bombs and
which
blows
was
it up.
which was another callback to Return of the Jedi. The
Yes,
original reason how Boba Fett survived, he was able to blow a hole in the Sarlacc's stomach and
right.
escape.
Yes,
So John Favreau reads these novels, or if he's not reading the novels, he has people in his writing room that have all of this information in front of them, and they find intriguing ways to tie it into the current Mandalorian TV series.
and the Disney Star Wars universe, bringing it all back.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
and then, oh, FYI, you did catch that was John Leguizamo, who was the illegal fighting ring owner in the beginning with the one eye.
I didn't know that.
That was John Leguizamo.
Really?
Yeah. So shout out to John Leguizamo. He was a very good slimy douchebag of a guy. And then lastly we had the Easter
Rule
egg.
number one, people, if you're ever running from somebody and they make clear to say, I'm not going to clear you to
You
kill
will not die by my hands.
that means they are devising an ulterior way
Yes.
for you to meet the one and only maker.
Yeah. And that being said, after this is the last piece, the most important piece. Who do we see at the very end of the episode?
As the Mandalorian is speeding away, we see Boba Fett without the battle armor. So which means he chose to walk away from that particular life, or he couldn't find the armor. One way or the other. One way or the other, he is not the owner of that armor anymore. And I'm not sure if he was looking for it or it's really left open-ended, so they can circle back to it. But we are left with the vision that, oh no, Boba Fett did survive the Sarlacc pit.
And how do we know it was Boba Fett? It was the same actor who played Jango Fett in the Attack of the Clones. Same actor.
And the clones. The same actor who played Jango Fett and the clones.
Oh yeah, exactly. And yes, the clone, the actual clone. Yes, the same actor, just a lot older. But now we know, that's, if you watched all the series and the movies, then you know for a fact that was Boba.
And we have a clear vision that he did survive the Sarlacc pit. So yes.
There you go.
One of the fan favorites of the Star Wars world, Boba Fett, is alive and kicking on Tatooine.
There you go. So so once again, I give this 5 water coolers, and I am really excited to see next week's episode. I'm like, I just want to see everything. I want to see not Shaq T. What's her name?
Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, Ahsoka Tano. I can't wait to see just more Jedi. Just this season's going to be like, that is why we decided to do this. Every week we have to just immediately
every week. Yes, we have to do a spoiler review of The Mandalorian immediately after it airs on Friday. But again, I know this is late if you got to this point and you watched it, but do not watch this if you haven't watched the episode yet, because it is spoiler full.
All right, everybody, this has been a special presentation, a Mandalorian special of Two Brothers at a Water Cooler.
On a break.
There you go.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Two Brothers at a Water Cooler with Mike and Tom, produced by Jamie Fernandez and Peter Bune. Rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and you might find your review in a future episode.